BRICS. Members Russia and Iran have officially announced that they will no longer use the US dollar for trade between their countries. Instead, both nations have opted to conduct transactions in their local currencies. Iran's central bank governor, Mohammad Reza Farzin, detailed how this shift has been implemented, emphasizing the significance of moving away from the dollar. Farzin highlighted the agreements established between Iran and Russia to facilitate trade in rubles and rials, marking a significant step toward a multipolar currency system. "We have entered into a currency agreement with Russia, completely removing the dollar from our transactions. Now, we trade exclusively in rubles and rials," he explained. He also mentioned that financial authorities from both countries have agreed upon exchange rates for foreign trade. Speaking at the 11th Conference on Modern Banking and Payment Systems in Tehran, the CBI, Central Bank of Iran, chief described this initiative as part of a broader strategy to counter unjust sanctions. Before we continue, please consider liking the video and sharing your thoughts in the comments below. Your feedback is invaluable and helps us reach a wider audience around the world. Last December, Iran and Russia finalized an agreement to conduct trade using their local currencies, the ruble and the rial. As part of this arrangement, banks and businesses can utilize alternative financial platforms, bypassing SWIFT's messaging system. Additionally, Russia now allows Iranian citizens to withdraw rials from ATMs across the country. Both nations, Iran and Russia, facing U.S. sanctions, first announced their plan to shift away from the US dollar in July 2022. Recent Kremlin data highlights the growing trend toward multipolar currency use, showing that nearly 96% of trade between Iran and Russia is conducted in local currencies. By October 21, 2024, the use of national currencies in bilateral transactions had increased by 12.4%. In July, the central banks of both countries signed a currency swap agreement, integrating Russia's Mir payment system with Iran's Shitab network. Earlier this month, Mohammad Reza Farzin confirmed the full implementation of this integration, enabling travelers from both nations to use their domestic debit cards in either country. He also noted the potential for Tehran to extend the use of Russia's Mir system to transactions with other international partners. Farzin praised the connection between the Mir and Shitab systems as a milestone in enhancing banking cooperation. The strengthened financial ties between Moscow and Tehran have provided resilience against Western sanctions, boosting trade relations. He emphasized that Iran is actively working to deepen economic cooperation within BRICS, having officially joined the bloc in January alongside Egypt, Ethiopia, and the UAE. The global de-dollarization movement continues to gain momentum, with many BRICS and ASEAN nations advocating for the use of local currencies, encouraging a shift away from reliance on the US dollar. While the US has imposed sanctions on BRICS member Russia to weaken its economy, the Kremlin has effectively circumvented these measures by encouraging other countries to abandon the US dollar in favor of local currencies. This de-dollarization movement is gaining momentum, with many developing nations eager to join. This shift could significantly impact the US dollar's dominance in global currency markets. If the US cannot maintain demand for its currency through exports, domestic inflation could rise, leading to higher prices for everyday goods. Three major sectors in the US would be particularly vulnerable if BRICS fully abandons the dollar. 1. Banking and finance. The US and Western-dominated financial systems would suffer as global demand for the dollar decreases. This would undermine the dollar's hegemony, potentially destabilizing the American banking system as fewer international players would use the USD. 2. International trade and investments. BRICS countries could reshape global trade rules to favor their new currency or local alternatives. This would reduce foreign investments in the US dollar, creating a currency deficit. Since the dollar's value depends on supply and demand, reduced demand could trigger hyperinflation. 3. Consumer goods and retail. If the US economy enters a hyperinflation phase, the cost of daily essentials would soar, directly impacting American households. This scenario could lead to job cuts and make living expenses unaffordable for the average citizen. Overall, the growing de-dollarization trend poses significant risks to US economic stability, potentially affecting everything from financial markets to everyday consumer prices. The upcoming Trump administration is expected to promote the US dollar and address the growing de-dollarization trend. President-elect Donald Trump recently pledged to penalize nations that move away from using the dollar once he takes office. During a rally in Wisconsin on September 7, 2024, Trump stated, "The dollar is currently under major siege, and many countries are abandoning it." He warned, "If you leave the dollar, you won't do business with the United States. We will impose a 100% tariff on your goods." He reiterated this stance on Saturday, emphasizing, "BRICS will never replace the US dollar in international trade. Any country that tries will lose access to American markets." Trump expressed similar views during a CNBC interview on March 11, 2024, declaring, "I'm a traditionalist. I support staying with the dollar. I hate when countries abandon it, and I wouldn't allow it." He likened losing the dollar's reserve currency status to losing a revolutionary war, stressing its critical importance to the U.S. economy. Bloomberg reported in April that Trump and his economic advisors are considering various measures to penalize countries that adopt alternative currencies. Proposed actions include tariffs, export controls, and currency manipulation charges against nations engaging in bilateral trade without the dollar. Don't forget to subscribe for more updates on important international topics. Thank you for watching.